We have been waiting, but to be frank, nothing surprising with the CPI and the FOMC rate decision. Hey there, Tamir from פיבונאצ'י.com, your daily market recap. Like, subscribe, and let's see the charts. So after all the huff and puff that we had, CPI 3.3, Mr. Powell FOMC rate decision, no change, and for now, no rate cuts during 2024, maybe one. SPY ended up the day with 0.82% to the upside, new all-time highs with a doji of a trend line. Now this gap, in my opinion, will get filled even tomorrow after PPI will come out. This gap will get filled with the 534 as support. This is how it looks on the intraday. We opened with a gap up and then just moved sideways above the 541 and below the 544. QQQ closed the day with 1.31% to the upside, also with a doji, new all-time highs. We can take the Fibonacci channels, and this is how it looks. We are at the upper border of this uptrend channel. We can be a little bit more accurate if we want. It's always better to be more accurate, and as you can see, doji of a future Fibonacci resistance together with a Fibonacci trend line. This gap, in my opinion, once again, everything that you see in here is my opinion only. Nothing here is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Now the 469 is the support. Below it, this gap will get filled, and in my opinion, after PPI tomorrow, this gap will get filled. This is how it looks on the 65 minutes. Gap up, sideways move between the 473.30 and the 476.50. Dow Jones closed the day on the red side with 0.07 to the downside. Once again, tried to break and stay inside the yellow zone, but got rejected and closed below the yellow zone. The 388 is a very tough resistance. All the yellow zone is a no trading zone. Let's see, can the Dow Jones close the week above the 393 IWM, 1.5% to the upside with a gap up. And look at this, went all the way, tried to break above this downtrend channel, got rejected by the channel, got rejected by the yellow zone, closed at the 50% retracement. Now the 202.60 is the support. Below it, this gap at the 201 will get filled. Overall, put the FTI on your chart and you will have everything that you need for support, resistance, buy signal, sell signal, multi-time frames. It will make your life as a technical analysis much easier. It will help you see things much clearer. Look at the Bitcoin on the daily, went all the way up, got rejected by the upper border of the yellow zone, went back down, and by the time that I'm recording this video, we are back below and still below the yellow zone, the 68,300, very tough resistance. The 67,400 is the support. Below it, 66, and this double top scenario is still in play. Below the 66,100, we will see 64 and 62,500 to the downside. Ethereum also got rejected by the yellow zone. Now, by the time that I'm recording this video, the 3600 is the resistance, 3500 is the support. Below it, 3380, and then the same price action we saw over here to the upside. Below the 3380, we will see the same price action to the downside. We can take Fibonacci a little bit tighter, so we will have a little bit more support and resistance. And as you can see, 3489, 3381, and then this to the downside, 3067. MAGS 1.91 to the upside with a gap up. Now the 43 is the support. We can add to the FTI also trend lines. Look at this. The FTI, one click away, gives us everything that we need. Fibonacci support resistance to the future, trend lines, that shows us the way until proven otherwise. Buy signal, sell signal, multi-time frames, everything that you need. Just one click away. Check the links in the description below. Join the Fibonacci Traders Discord, the gold membership, and you will gain also access to all Discord channels and to the amazing FTI tool. SOXX 2.82% to the upside. And as you can see, the FTI gives us much more accurate trend lines that I give. Now the 246 is the support below with this gap, and the 243.80 will get filled. The 246 is the support, long continuation, and we will see 257, 266. And as long as the SOXX is inside this uptrend channel, the way is up, bullish on all time frames. The sector, the hottest sector in my opinion, after the SOXX is the solar sector. Almost 1% to the upside inside this uptrend channel, holding above the yellow zone. Now still needs to hold above it, and then 49, 50, 51 and 52 to the upside. Overall, it was a very volatile day, especially at the end of the day. Look at the solar sector. If yesterday this name, the MAXN, gave us 14% to the upside, went all the way to the Fibonacci resistance and Fibonacci trend line, got rejected, 5.8% to the downside. First Solar, look at this. If we delete my trend lines, because the FTI gives us much more accurate trend lines, and look at this, doji of a resistance, future Fibonacci resistance, and Fibonacci trend line. All comes down to Fibonacci. Everything in the FTI is Fibonacci. Everything is Fibonacci, because we know that price follows future support resistance for Fibonacci. First Solar with this kind of doji, 295, we have a gap. RUN, Sunrun, also got rejected by the upper border of this uptrend channel. Now needs to hold above the yellow zone, breaking down and under, and we will meet once again the 1430 and the lower border of this uptrend channel. What else do we have? ENPH also, look at this. Everything is Fibonacci. Future Fibonacci resistance, the 141.50. Now holding above the yellow zone, and inside this channel, look how the upper border of this uptrend channel acts as resistance. But as long as ENPH is inside this channel, the way is up. Next, after TAN, we have XLU. Close the day on the red side. If we clean the chart, you can see it's struggling to stay inside this uptrend channel. And this uptrend channel also is all about Fibonacci. If we broaden up a little bit the channel, we are still inside it. Barely. Still below the yellow zone, so nothing much on XLU for now. For the long part, breaking below the 69.70 means we finally are out of this uptrend channel, going back to the 68.80 and 67.82. Like, subscribe, don't go anywhere. Don't forget, we have many more names to talk about. Apple, of course. We have also Microsoft, Google, Shopify, Tesla, Nvidia, and many more names, including the top 5 gainers in the past trading day. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's continue with Apple. You know this red trend line. We drew this red trend line way back, and we said that this will be the next major resistance, the red trend line, together with the 220. You're more than welcome to check previous videos, previous market recaps, and you will see that we have talked about. And look at this, where Apple went all the way to the red trend line, got rejected, and back inside this uptrend channel, the Fibonacci uptrend channel. Now the 213 is the resistance, 208 is the support. Let's see how Apple will continue. We have Thursday and Friday, PPI coming up. Let's see how Apple will react to the PPI numbers. Microsoft almost 2% to the upside, all the way to the 444 area. New all-time highs on Microsoft. Now at the upper border of this channel, breaking up and above, and we are entering this channel, the next channel, the left lane, which is the fastest lane to the upside. 454, 467, and maybe 500 by the end of 2024. Another 14-15% to the upside at Microsoft by the end of 2024. Never say never. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Can we get above 500 on Microsoft by the end of 2024? Nvidia with 3.55% to the upside. Let's check Fibonacci a little bit tighter. This glitch needs to be fixed. TradingView, if you're hearing, this glitch needs to be fixed. Nvidia still inside this option channel, and we can also take Fibonacci because this glitch is a little bit mixing up the things for the FTI. Now the 115 area is the support, 130 is the resistance. We can also take resistance over here, and this is the low. 117.55 is the support. New all-time highs on Nvidia. Continuation towards 140 and 160. This is, you see why I use the FTI, because it's much more accurate than I am. Look at AMD struggling to stay and get back inside the yellow zone. Let's clean a little bit the chart. What do we see on AMD? We are still below the yellow zone. Each candle that goes by, we have lower lows, lower highs, doji, bearish on all time frames. In my opinion, this gap needs to get filled before bulls of AMD will gain their power back. Shopify with 2.6% to the upside. Shopify continues its way to the upside, and since this break above the 61, we have been waiting for this break, gave us already 8% to the upside. Now let's see the Fibonacci trend lines, where they take us. Look at this. At the upper border of this uptrend channel, together with the 66, which is a Fibonacci resistance. Now retesting the 63 area, the upper border of the yellow zone will be healthier after this bull run. Very nice bull run since May until now. 18% to the upside. Some kind of a pullback will be super healthy. Retesting the 63 area before the next leg up towards 66, and then 75 gap will get filled. Tesla 3.9% to the upside, but overall Tesla is still inside the downtrend channel. Look at this red channel, still inside this red channel. One candle does not change the overall sentiment. We are still bearish on the daily. I'm looking for a weekly close above this trend line, above this downtrend channel. In my opinion, above the 186. And I have also my alert over here, just below this resistance, so I will not miss the breakout. MicroStrategy 3.1% to the upside, but you remember this red trend line, still holding as a very tough resistance. Lower highs, struggling with the yellow zone. We have a gap. Look at this multi-doji scenario, and basically if we take a look back since May 20th, MicroStrategy is basically in a very tight price action between the 1500 and the 1724. Not much of a price action, no clear trend whatsoever. Meta closed the day with 0.27 to the upside, still inside this uptrend channel. Let's take the Fibonacci channel. Let's see what the Fibonacci channel tells us. Just go to the FTI, put the lines, and we can make them a little bit tighter. Too tight. 1618. The golden ratio always working, holding as long as Meta is above the lower border of this uptrend channel, above this trend line. Meta is in an uptrend, retesting the 497, maybe retesting the 487 will not be a surprise. We still have this gap and PPI numbers coming up tomorrow. In my opinion, and it's only my opinion, we will see some red all across the board. Google continues its way to the upside inside this uptrend channel. Doji after doji grinding up. But Google looks super bullish in my opinion. As long as Google is above the 173 area, Google is in an uptrend. Now, long continuation above the 180. We will see 189 and 200. Amazon still above this trend line. Look at this. This trend line goes way back to October and September of 2023, holding the higher lows. Now the 186 is the support. Below it, 182, 183. Long continuation, and we will see new all-time highs on Amazon going towards the 207. Netflix continues its way to the sideways move since May 20th. Not much price action on Netflix. 640 is the support, 664 is the resistance. Nothing much on Netflix. Breaking below, if the market will not like the PPI numbers, bad reaction from the market, and we will go and retest the 618. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the top 5 gainers in the past trading day. We have SWKS. You remember it from yesterday. We have been talking about this broadening formation, and look at this. Went all the way up to the upper border of the broadening formation, got rejected. Now, let's see, can SWKS Skywork solution can break up above this broadening formation, and then it will take us towards the 101, first closing this gap, and then the 108 will be all this area, the 108, 109, next major resistance. Oracle with 13.3% to the upside, gapped up after earnings. Look at this. Trend line, Fibonacci, all comes down to that. Once we understand the in-depth relationship between candlestick analysis, trend lines, and Fibonacci, we can know with up to 85% chance accuracy where price might be heading next. Some kind of a pullback, retesting the 133, 134 area as support will be very, very healthy. Below it, we will retest this upper border of the yellow zone at the 130. EFX, Equifax, with almost 5.8% to the upside, went all the way up, got rejected by the 247 area, the upper border of the yellow zone. We do have here some kind of a double bottom scenario, but let's see another daily close above the 247, 248, and then we will see 255, 256, and then to the next major resistance at the 270 area. ADSK, Autodesk, yellow zone, once again acts as a very tough resistance. It was resistance, super tough resistance during June until December of 2023. 6 months of a very tough resistance. For now, it's already 2 months of resistance. I have a my alert here. I want to see Autodesk closing the week above the 221, and then I will reassess if it's good to go long on Autodesk. BLDR, Builders First Source, gave us 5.35% to the upside, went all the way up to the 157 area. It was resistance, support, back to resistance and we closed with the doji. In my opinion, with this kind of doji, tomorrow this gap at the 146 area will get filled. I'm looking for another bounce. On BLDR, we are still inside this downtrend channel. So with all due respect to today's 5.35% to the upside, one candle does not change the overall sentiment. And for now, since March, already almost 3 months of a downtrend channel on BLDR. Once again, thank you very much for watching this video. I do hope you found it helpful, educational. If so, like, subscribe, check the links in the description below. Choose your path to financial freedom. Until the next video, stay safe.